Alright, so we've all heard those really up-tempo rock songs that are grooving along, right? And then they come to, they build throughout the entire song, and then they reach a high point, and then everybody in the entire band stops, right? And then there's the drummer in the band, and he has a big solo, and he's just going along the drum, is like, and nobody in the entire crowd understands what he just did. It's like incomprehensible how he's playing that fast. But basically what I'm going to do today is I'm going to teach you the technique behind playing that fast. And it's really simple, a concept, and it's, you just got to remember three things. 1, do not single stick your drum solo. 2, double bounce instead of single sticking your drum solo. And 3, I'm going to teach you the technique and how to practice double bouncing your drum solo. So 1, why do we not single stick during fast tempo rhythmic challenges like you might have in a drum solo? Well, single sticking happens when you have right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And it's a very simple pattern, and it's the easiest one somebody as a drummer could do. But the problem with it is it's very limiting to how fast you can go. Because every single time you have an arm movement, your right arm has to move and then your left arm has to move. So, well, I have a friend, and in 6th grade, he decided to do a drum solo for a talent show. So he went to do a solo on stage, and he had this grooving thing. At the end, he thought as a big finale, he'd do single-handed 16ths across the drums. And what happened was his chops, his playing speed, couldn't keep up with what he had in his head, and he dropped his stick, and the stick flew across the stage, and everybody laughed at him. So that's why you don't use single sticks. Single 16ths is because your hands, essentially, can't keep up unless you have really, really amazing chops. So the idea, step 2, is to learn how to do double bouncing. And double bouncing is when every single time you have an arm movement, a stroke into the drum, instead of your stick hitting the drum once, it hits the drum twice. So here's your single sticks. And every time you do a double, it's... So every time you have an arm movement, the stick hits twice. So, how do you do that? Every single time you're throwing your stick against the drum, there's a rebound off of the drum head. And that happens because, well, because your stick hits the drum, it bounces off, and when it's here, you squeeze your fingers, and your fingers draw the stick back into the drum, which gives it the 2 beats every single time you have an arm movement. So, how do you practice this? First thing you do, grip your stick with your thumb and your index finger. And then, very simple, you release all your back fingers and you throw your stick into the drum. And you get that bounce, that really easy bounce as if it's like a basketball or a bouncy ball. And then, so you have that bounce. And then the next step, after you can feel that bounce in your hand, is you tighten your back fingers around the stick and you control the bounce so that it limits it to 2 beats. So you got the, and then you limit it. Alright, so once you can feel that in your hands, there's a really easy practice that you can do. It's called an out-to-in to out roll. And what that's doing is you start really slow, with doubles on each hand, double, 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 and then you speed it up as fast as you can, and then once you're playing as fast as you can and it's still sounding good, you back off and you slow it down again, so that you don't push past a bad sound. So you keep doing that until, and every single time you do it again, you push it faster and faster so that you're working on your chops. So what that'll sound like after you've got it is something like this. So that's what you do. You just keep on doing that over and over again, and you work it up to that tempo. And then you can easily move that same idea around the drums and sound really, really impressive, like Louis Bellson or John Bonham, all really great rock drummers. So, step number 1, don't single stick your drum solos. 2, learn how to do a double bounce. And 3, practice your technique so that you can get your chops up to tempo. And I think if you can do all that, you can successfully achieve a nice, fast, impressive sounding drum solo in not too long a time.